misspelled name on it. You got it. Every web posting could be that oblique in the sense of referring to the content you already have to have. If people don't have it, it's the internet. You put a link in and you send them to the original story, which is a great method, and then you don't have to post the original story, you don't have all that content in their way, you're cutting to the chase, your personal voice comes out because it's your reaction to it. Then if they need it, they can click through. If you don't even do that, hello, Google, there's nothing you're talking about that I can't find out about in 7 seconds. So stop slowing people down by talking as though you're talking in the old medium. Give it to them fast, give it to them with a point, a punchline, a smile, a call to action, but something that they can react to. And then, best of all, in my opinion, and new media is dependent on this, give them a way to react. I'm spoiled, Jennifer's spoiled, we have a great way, it's the telephone. We get to go on the air and get instant reaction from tens of thousands of people. It's fantastic. You have, but once again, it's new media. You have a million ways. You know, it's so interesting to me that the focus on Twitter is to get people information out. I lost my sock was a great one. That's, I mean, if you're one of those people who's joined, you're stalking me, or what do they call it on Twitter? Following? Are you following me?
Yes.
Stop it! Stop following me! I told you I wasn't paranoid, man. Get there, following me. I feel like that Verizon network guy. Every time I say I have, you know, whatever, 9,000 followers. But it's all about information out. You don't want information out. You want information in. You want people talking to you. Not because they're going to tell you anything profound necessarily, although I and Jennifer, don't we get great topics, great content all the time from our listeners? All the time. They send us stories we would miss. This, when I helped the alumni of BC keep that unrepentant, disgusting terrorist Bill Ayers from showing up, it was an email from a listener. The media had covered it. The media had a blackout on it because they didn't want Bill Ayers to get chased away, and a listener broke it, and we took it away, and at the end of that day, he was gone. At a single broadcast day. It was all from a listener. But for those of you who work in campaigns, you know the value of getting somebody to do something for you, like to send you a $5 check. Once somebody sends you a $5 check, they have skin in the game. They feel like they're part of your campaign. And as it rises and falls, they to a degree rise and fall. Kind of like the socks, not nearly as profound. You know that same kind of notion? Think what happens when someone Twitters you back. Think what happens when they Twitter you back and you reply. I try as much as I can to reply to every emailer. Notice I don't say every email. I can't. I get, I don't know, 600, 700 a day, something like that. But I always sort them by name every day, and if I see an email address I've never seen before, I make it a point to email them back because I'm shamelessly sucking up to them. I admit I need the job. I need listeners, and I'm happy to do it. And then I try to read or at least glance at every other email if I can. But my point is, I know what happens. When they take the time to email me, that's $5 into the campaign account. That makes me their talk show host. That makes you their candidate. If I find the time to email them back, that affirms you're on the team. I'm so glad to have you. Your effort is appreciated and noted. And that doubles their loyalty. And it will work for you. But if you're always sending, if your focus is, how can I get this out? We're going to send out a barrage of 5,000 emails. Then we're going to send a barrage into Twitter every 42 seconds. Okay, fine. And I'm not saying that's necessarily right or wrong. It may be the absolute right thing to do. My point is, how do I respond back? How do I buy in? And it's the difference between, to me, you know what it is? People ask all the time, what is the difference between doing stand-up, which I did for 6 years, and doing talk radio? That is the difference. The audience never had any control of my show when I did stand-up. I did my show, even hecklers. You know, after you do like the 5,000th show, there's no heckle you haven't heard. I loved hecklers because that was a whole new set of material I could do. They were part of my show. But with my talk show, which is new media, I would argue that talk radio is the oldest new media. With my show, my listeners can drive the show. They can present information live contemporaneously that I have to react to. Not in a punchline isn't enough because now the audience is engaged. Like, hey, wait a minute, Michael, that was a good point. What do you think of that? The more they can buy in, the more they feel like they're part of my show, the more part of your web, the more they drive your content, change your content, are part of your conversation. The more they buy in, the more you get them back and back and back from that buy-in. The best estimates are that about 1% of talk show listeners will ever call a talk show, ever. I think it's actually a little higher. It might be up to 2 or 3%. But you get my point. Nobody calls talk show. But I'm trying to think who did the survey. Actually, several surveys have shown that people listen. One of the reasons people listen is because they can call in. The idea of it, the idea that this is my show, and if I wanted to, I could just pick up that phone. That's powerful. So they go to your website, and you're trying to drive the conversation about a local campaign, or maybe a local issue to aid a campaign. And they go there, and it's regularly updated, and it's fresh stuff, and it's interesting, and it's not long and turgid. You're not repeating stuff. It's either funny or outrageous, and it's easy to eat, easy to consume. And then you give me something to react to. You give me a question to answer, or you give me something to do, or you give me a new, or maybe you ask for help. You do a bleg. Someone came to me and said, Counselor Johnson actually owns half of that company that just got the new contract. I can't find the information. Look, can you find it? Oh my God, what a great way to drive people to you. They're working for you, and they're sad. They're actually happy. It doesn't hurt. It's not like, imagine if a TV show said, you know what? We're in the 7th season of 24, and man, we have really screwed things up. We don't know what the heck we're doing. Every year, the villain is some white guy. We can't figure out why, but we've just plowed into a wall here. Can you please help us out? We need some... What are you, an idiot? You can't write the script? Yeah, we don't know what's happening next week. We're just going to make it up, and maybe you'll call in, and Jack will jump up. What? But on the web, in new media, it's completely different. People expect to be part of the process. And they love getting information from me. So it always drives my audience up when I ask people to find something out for me, to do work. And that fascinates me. And it's not, once again, because, oh, Michael Graham. No, it's because of the process. People like being part of it. They own your website. They own the show. So give them stuff to do and let them do it. And that's, to me, incredibly powerful. But there's something else to keep in mind, and then I'll be happy to take any questions you want. First of all, will my beautiful aide, Macon, please come up here for a second and bring me my phone?
You can have your phone back.
Thank you very much. You can go in now. Trust me, you don't want to get him started. He will be attending the Young America's Foundation conference down in Washington, D.C. in about 4 weeks, right? Second year in a row. He's dragging a friend. Very important. He's dragging an apolitical, non-politically active friend to come down there and hang out with him and to get brainwashed. And we're looking forward to it. I'm going to do a shameless commercial for something I get no benefit from whatsoever directly. This is my Samsung Omnia phone I just got last week. I had an Envy before. It was fine. I liked it fine. But I got this phone for one reason. It has an FM radio in it. Not an app like iPhone, which only certain stations have apps and blah, blah, blah. Is there another phone that has full working, free tuner? No, you don't have to add a device, FM radio? No. It kills me because I realize more than my industry does, I have to go here. Whatever you're doing needs to go here. And thank God, but I remember back in the day when PDA stuff was just starting to happen, you try to go to a website like nationalreview.com or whatever, and it was, you can see like 4 letters, you push over. And fortunately now, the software has gotten so, the website servers that are available to you commercially at a very reasonable price make things PDA friendly. You've got to be on here. I've got to be on here. I'm begging people, please buy this. Please ask why don't you have FM on whatever you have. Because I know radio has got to go here. Because if we don't go here with you, you'll leave us behind. We'll be gone. So it's important to keep in mind. Just like the content needs to be new media consumer friendly, it also needs to be new media device friendly. Long scroll things, not so much. So keep that in mind. But the other thing that's happening is that I think the conservatives really had the advantage on the internet for a while. I really do, particularly early days, early on, because, and I don't mean this as a token slap or anything, I sincerely mean this, conservatives tend to be more intelligent than liberals. And it's not because, there are a lot of different theories about why that is, but conservatives tend to be more, every survey you see, people with the most knowledge, what is their number one media choice? Talk radio. Every survey you see, the most educated voter, what's their number one media choice? Talk radio. There are a million ways to pieces of information that back up my thesis. But so early adapters, not surprisingly, tended to be 2 groups of people, conservatives and perverts. And I'm proud to represent the overlap. But kidding! It's a joke. But I think we're losing it. I think we're losing it because for the same reasons that we have lost almost any influence in the other media like movies, television, music. It's because we are abandoning the culture. We are not thinking